All right, so I am excited to have one of my favorite people here today, right now. It's Cass Varner. Hi, Cass.
Hi, everyone.
How are you?
I am well.
Where are you right now?
I'm actually in Hale, Michigan. It's at my parents' cabin. They have a little cabin on the East Branch of the Huron River.
Okay.
So we're just maxing and relaxing right now.
Well, thank you very
Our
much.
first time out since the virus hit. So
What virus?
yeah, right.
Well, thank you for being part of the Telethon. Hey, listen, I was thinking about questions to ask you, and when did you first start working at AF?
So I first started working, 2002, I believe, and worked until 2015.
Wow.
So 12 years altogether. Um, yeah, it was so many things. I went through working there, so many stages, different directions and staff and programming and leadership. So many, I mean, we did so many awesome things, but it was definitely quite a time span. It was cool to be involved in the community for such a long period of time and really see some changes take place.
What was your first role at Affirmations?
My first role was the youth program coordinator.
Okay.
Um, I'd gone to school formally as a teacher, but knew I immediately didn't want to do that. So I had worked in the field of social work for a few years, and recently at the time moved down to the Metro Detroit area. And I think it was like a beacon of light that I saw an ad in between the lines
Okay.
for a youth program coordinator. And so, knowing it could potentially be the dream job, which it was, I scooped that up right away. And fortunately, everything went good, and I got it.
And if we go back to those days when you're working with the youth, what was that like? And do you have any memories that are particularly fond for you back then and working with the kids?
Yeah, actually. So one of the things that I really would consistently hear from the youth is that there were youth that regularly came to affirmations. I think though there was a connection that I really developed with a lot of those guys, and a consistent message from them was they felt a lot of times like they didn't have anyone. They felt like any like adult who had come into their lives would always really quick leave or take off. I got the impression that they didn't feel invested in by the adults in their life. So one of the things I wanted to make sure that I did was basically that I was always present, that I was always there for them. There were periods of time where I felt like I was on call a lot, but I really wanted to be there. I really wanted to be that adult in their lives when they could come to the space where they finally felt safe in, that they had somebody to go to, somebody to turn to. And, some of I have a few youth that really stood out. And I really like watching how they grew up. There was one of my youth that's now working in Washington, D.C. as an attorney.
Wow.
There's one of my youth who is working at the Science Center now and writes plays on the regular and is just a phenomenal kind of beacon and ambassador for the LGBTQ community.
And why do you think in 2020 that community centers like Affirmations are still so needed, like they were then?
I think I definitely think they're still needed, and really because while there are certain places and certain things that have happened that have allowed spaces to become more welcoming and more safe, they also exist only in pockets.
Yeah.
There are, I mean, take Michigan, for example, Metro Detroit, I can feel pretty safe walking around generally in Metro Detroit, but going anywhere outside of that, there's nowhere for people to go. There's nowhere for people to reach out to. And a lot of times people don't even know that these spaces are available or these resources are available. So, you know, when we consistently still live in a world filled with the amount of hate and disagreement and conflict that we do, it's nice to know that there are still places people can go to just take a breath and relax and be themselves and not have to worry about how prepared they are to fend off, you know, somebody who might want to attack them or somebody who might want to verbally assault them.
Right. I know that as I've been doing a lot of these interviews, a lot of the folks, you know, whether it's Leslie or Kalatosh or, you know, so many folks that you know will talk about while they were there working for the community, they made lifelong friendships themselves. That affirmations changed them. Do you feel
Yeah,
that way?
absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I still consider to this day, you know, one of my lifelong mentors is Kalatosh.
Sure.
I've learned so much from both her and Leslie, actually. You know, there was a time where I was still going to school for public administration. And, you know, people like Leslie and Kat taught me so much about nonprofits in general and how they worked and grants and the importance of funding and diversifying your funding. And, you know, I mean, just how there's so much of a balance to everything. I mean, yeah, I definitely would still consider those guys, they're lifelong friends, you know, and those are just two examples of so many. It was, my time at Affirmations was fantastic. I mean, there were definitely ups and downs and ebbs and flows and things like that. But what I have learned from the people that I had worked with at Affirmations, I'll never forget. I'll never forget, and has genuinely made me a more diverse and better person, I think.
Well, you and I were on the same team for a while. I'm curious, while we were plugging away, what was some of the or even one of the most fun things that you did while we were a team?
Um, well, countless fun things. You, I mean, without I love everybody at Affirmations, but Dave, you were my favorite boss.
Oh,
So you've always been my favorite boss.
yeah, yeah, good timing.
One of my very favorite things and why I so loved working for you was because you led by example. For one, your passion emanated through every part of who you are, and it made everyone around you just want to try harder, want to do things harder. I mean, at that point when you came to Affirmations, I had been there for quite a while, so I had a lot of the, well, historically, well, you know, before, well, we've always done it this way. And one of the things that I learned from you, this was such an important lesson, was, you know, just stop it. Stop it for a second and realize that anything is possible. You know, when you came up with the idea for a hunger strike, we had 2 weeks to get that ready. I thought that was impossible. Yeah. It was not impossible, and it was very successful. And it basically just literally proved everything that I had known wrong. You know, it doesn't matter sometimes, you know, timelines and action plans and, you know, all of those things are important. But when you have a passion and a driver behind critical goals and really creating some change, though, that is how those types of missions can become accomplished.
My team now, you know, they jokingly say that they get very nervous when on a Monday morning staff meeting, my first things out of my mouth is, so I was thinking last night.
Yeah, but you know, I tell you, it was a lot of work, and it was a lot of work all the time, but it was so fun. It was so fun. And yeah, there are so many parts of me that wish that you had stayed that last time, just because I wasn't ready to be done with the fun. And the fact that hard work can be so much fun and we can see the change that's happening in the community, I mean, that is the most amazing feeling. That is that is hands down the best thing about working for the LGBTQ community, is because you can literally see the change you're working toward.
You and I had, we were, I thought we were just really good together too. I mean, we would go to, I don't know, like some media event, or, you know, be on camera about something. And we would just always, we always clicked. You were by far one of Affirmation's best employees for so many years. But, you know, more important than that, we've been friends for a long, long time. And Sherry both. And I just appreciate very much your commitment to affirmations, of course, as we talk about a telethon. I often think, you know, with something like this telethon, which we've never done before, how great we would have been together doing this as well as a member of the team. But for you to still participate means a lot. And I know you're never far away from affirmations, in spirit and in reality. So thank you very much for everything you've done for the organization, all your hard work, but more importantly, for your friendship and counsel. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, Dave. Absolutely. I mean, you're definitely one of my favorite people. You can definitely count on me to be here when you need. I know oftentimes, especially these days, I don't have tons of time, but I'm happy to dedicate it to affirmations. I'm happy to help you and your team anytime you need.
I know you are. Thank you for being a part of the telethon. Please tell Sherry I said hi. You guys have a great weekend in Hale, Michigan.
All right. All right. Thanks. And you have a good
All right.
weekend too. Good luck with the telethon.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.